Welcome. Hey there, Dennis.
Hey, Greg.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome. We're going to be looking we're getting set up in our new little digs to do this. So you'll see us looking at a computer, looking at the screen behind us, and so I'm just trying to get it so I should look like I'm looking at you, but I don't think there's going to be any easy way to do that. So I'll have to do it this way. There we go. So now we can see that we're looking up there, and it looks great. So welcome, everybody. We can see a few guests are on there as well, and welcome to our Wednesday evening $1 Million Training.
$1 Million Training.
So what are we going to? Why don't we give everybody a little idea what we're going to be talking about, how it works, and how they can invite friends later on for next week. How this works here locally in Vancouver, and what our goals are. So we'll give everybody a little idea.
Yeah, I mean, we really just want to open up to help the people who are in MLM that maybe don't have the ideal support team, or they're not sure if their support team's giving them the real goods. So it's called a $1 Million Mastermind because it really is going to be the nuts and bolts of how to do this business from yourself and myself, who have actually made $1 million in the industry.
Right.
So we're going to cut through all the crap. We're going to tell you how to be accountable. We're going to tell you how to do the business. We're going to tell you how to do all the things that you probably have already decided that you don't want to do, because we're actually going to teach you how to make $1 million in MLM.
Great. And why don't you give everybody a little bit of your background in MLM and what we've done. Now, we met just over 20 years ago. It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And but you've worn a lot of different hats, and you're not currently in an MLM. So let's talk about some of the rules with our training and why we can do this, and no recruiting allowed.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be a safe place to come to learn how to build an MLM. So when you come to the live events, if you mention the name of your company, you will be kicked out and banned. You're not welcome to come back. If you ask anyone in the room the name of the company they're in, you'll be kicked out and banned and not welcome back. We're not here to give you a pool of prospects. We're going to take your $25 and we're going to teach you how to make a lot of money in your MLM business. And we don't expect you to think you can do it by recruiting others in the room, right? It's just meant to be a safe place to come and get good training. And you can bring your downline with you. Each $25 ticket allows you to bring up to 3 people with you. So if you want to bring a team, you can charge each other $6.12 each or whatever it is. And you can come here with some of your people to get some training. So it's I think it's going to be some fun. There's a little bit more going on in the world right now with generic training, because then you don't have to worry that it's really company specific. So. And
the same goes online too, because you are able to chat in the chat boxes. We do monitor it. So if you have questions, I could sit here and I'm just going to show everybody. You can chat here. So there we go. So the messages are public. They're able to be read, but the same rule apply. Yeah. If we get complaints from somebody that they connected with you and then you immediately went into a pitch. Now, of course, we know that your social media is going to have your company information. That's right. We get that. At least if you're doing it right, your social media has your company information. And that's okay. And if somebody wants to find out what you do and then ask, and is off the record and sees
if it happens outside of the presentations because you made friends at our event, and once you made friends, you guys decided to discuss who you're in and prospect the crap out of each other. We don't have any control of that. But what we do recommend is both Craig and I have had some really, really good relationships with people that were mentors to us in the industry, right? One of the first people that I ever met with was, we both met. They found me from a fax that I was doing, and we met for coffee, and we both realized that there was just no chance either of us were joining. He invited me out to coffee because he wanted to cross-sponsor me into his thing. We very quickly realized that we just kind of liked each other, and we went 10 years or more without ever prospecting each other again, right? Not even offhanded, oh yeah, but our company just came out with something really great. We just never did it. We got together, we talked about the problems we were having, we mentored each other, and we became really, really lifelong friends out of it. So we're hoping to help you get lifelong friends out of this that can mentor you in the industry. And who knows, maybe their company will go broke, maybe your company will go broke. Maybe you'll decide you've had enough, maybe they'll decide they've had enough. And maybe you'll end up in each other's businesses. But it's not the point today to come here to meet people, to prospect them. we very seriously frown upon that. And you now have been told.
There you go. You've been told. So this is it's a real open format. We don't intend that these ever go longer than about 45 minutes to an hour. An hour is going to be at the top end when we're looking at the clock and then replays are only available right now if you registered for the event. Okay, so it's privately set up. It's not going to be opened up to everybody. So you either show up on Wednesday or you register on Wednesday. And I think we've got replays currently set to be up to 24 hours, maybe 48 hours after, if just something happened, you happen to be in a different interesting time zone, because we are broadcasting this all across the world.
That's
We've got people on right now from Australia. I see Hong Kong, Taiwan, United States, different time zones, Canada. So we've got a number of different countries. So we can appreciate where, if you're in Australia, you might not be able to jump in because it's lunchtime tomorrow.
Yeah,
right.
Lunchtime tomorrow.
So we get that.
Doesn't that mean they already missed it?
That means we're a little ahead of ourselves.
Right, that's right. That's right.
So that's kind of our format. We do encourage your input. We do encourage you to ask questions. If you've got ideas, we want to know.
Yeah.
When you register for the event online, it does actually give you a chance to tell a little bit about yourself, who you are, who you're with, and you can give us some ideas. And if you are a speaker, if you're a trainer in your company and you want to participate, we'd love to have you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We can do either live here in Vancouver. We'd love to have you representing the industry.
The industry.
Remember that, not your company, but the industry, or being live online. You could be, this is a Google Hangout. You can participate in any country in the world and join us. Just message us outside of the webinar and ask for a speaking. You want to be a speaker? We'll have a conversation, because we're not going to say, okay, here, we're going to be a speaker. We'll talk about it, see what you want to talk about, and we'll get, and love to have that. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really going to be about MLM leaders helping people who want to become MLM leaders.
Right.
Right. It's nuts and bolts. It's brass tacks. We're not going to be friendly and nice and make you feel good. We're not here to motivate you. We are here to absolutely share with you some of the things that it takes to be successful. And of course, we're going to talk a little bit about HourADay. This is all sponsored by HourADay. And HourADay is all about making you more efficient at building your business. It's a nice little software tool that does that.
Cool. Now you've put together a little presentation for today. Do you want to maybe just jump right into a slideshow right now?
Yeah, I guess we could. I mean, it's sort of the inaugural. Here's what we are. Here's who our sponsor is. So.
Yeah. So why don't we start with that? Okay. Go into that, and then so hopefully we got everything working just absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to actually, the cool thing is I don't share the screen on this Google Hangout. I literally just put it up, and that will play your mastermind. So let me just go here, and it's all yours. So if you want to
that's not the HourADay one.
Oh, you want the HourADay one or the mastermind
You
one?
just said we were going to do the HourADay one first.
Well, it does say HourADay on it. HourADay. Yeah. Which one? You want this one or the HourADay one?
If we're going to explain HourADay, then we need the other one.
I can do that. I have the power.
There we go.
There we go.
So this is the how to explode your business with the HourADay system. And it is actually true. If you spend an hour a day in the multi-level marketing industry doing the right things, which is not color coding your filing folders and cleaning up your office, it's being on the phone with someone who may come to a presentation or may join you in the business. Anything other than someone who may come to a presentation may join you in the business, or you're talking to one of your people who's talking to someone who may join the business, you're not working. Sorry.
And this is a great tool, by the way, that I've been using and teaching people in my company's team and the leaders to use your HourADay system, because you offer a 30-day free trial.
That's right.
So when you're connecting with a networker, what a great way to connect with somebody and offer them something that's going to help them build their business.
Yes.
Even if they're not in your own company, offer them something and make friends first. Because that's one of the biggest mistakes we always make. We want to get into that. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. Let's sit down and let's pitch each other. And
pitch each other and
really
see if one of us might decide to go join the other guy. How about we just go and find someone who might be interested in joining our business instead of wasting each other's time?
Exactly. Help each other in a generic sense.
Be accountable to each other.
Yeah, why not?
Be accountability partners. Right.
Could certainly do that. So let's get a little bit into, here's a little bit about you.
Okay. So I'll let you talk about me.
I can talk about you. Makes it a little bit easier. So Dennis, now we've known each other, we're 22 years now. We've been in this industry. First time I met Dennis, he came up after I finished doing a presentation in a hotel room, and he came up and he shook my hand, said his name, and he said, "That's the worst presentation I have ever seen. You were clicky, you told inside jokes, I had guests there. I'm never coming back to another presentation." And that's probably a little thing you should learn. If you're out there doing presentations, I mean, I was car qualified, I was cocky.
Yep.
Okay, I really was. I mean, I like to say confident, and cocky. I walked that line at times. But when you're young, 25, and you got really successful, making some money.
Nice car. Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty easy to be that way.
That's right.
But what you said made sense. And what did I say to you?
You said, "Okay, I'll fix it. Come back next week."
And you did.
And you did.
And we've been best friends ever since.
So,
Now you've been $1 million income earner in the industry. Now this is a true. Understand when we talk about we both earned $1 million as distributors.
Yes.
In one company.
In one company.
In 1 year.
Yes.
The total
income,
commissions.
not 1 week multiplied by 52.
Right. So we've actually earned in excess of $1 million a year as distributors.
Right.
U.S.
Yeah, it was.
Even it was.
Actually, it was Swiss franc,
Was it Swiss francs?
which was even more than U.S., I believe.
It was, yeah.
So
So
it was Swiss franc.
yeah, we're not even going to fake it and say it was Canadian.
No, although at the time, wow.
Yeah,
It's
well, that was
serious dough.
That was an extra
It was
60%.
$1.65 at that time.
So we're just letting you know that we've really done it. Now, currently, you've helped with your MLM software company. You sell software to MLM companies to run the entire company.
That is correct.
And you've helped launch over 550 MLM companies in the past 2 decades. So that's one of the advantages that you have, is that you get to see a lot of the stuff that nobody else as a distributor has seen. You get to see some of those dirty little
Ugly
secrets
underbelly.
that some of the companies and owners and that do, and we can talk about that too. You're obviously a consultant. You're an expert in compensation plans, and we can certainly talk about that. And an MLM trainer. So all the things that you've done. And yes, you have clients currently anywhere from just a few zero all the way up to $1 billion a year.
Euro, actually.
Billion euro.
If we're really telling all the exact truth, it's $1 billion.
There you go. All right, so let's talk about HourADay and why this is important. And maybe you could explain.
I added a slide about you, but I bet you it's on my computer instead of the thumb.
Oh, nobody cares about me anyways. I'm an MLM guy, and I happen to be with a company now that I'm corporate. Made that decision to join. The same company that you made the million in, I made the million in. That's how,
right.
So it worked out really well.
Yeah.
And I've owned my own MLM company.
Yep.
And got it up. Its first year did 10 million in sales, and then got up to 4 million a month before SARS hit. And it was a travel company, and that kind of killed it. So there's my short little Cole's Notes version of me. So maybe you could talk about, because HourADay is how you got to make $1 million. It wasn't this version. You put a lot of money into HourADay since then, but maybe you can share a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't have any money when I started. So I had built this system myself in PHP and MySQL, and I'm not a programmer at all. I have fantastic guys that work with me now that take care of that all, which is great. But I had actually built it for myself. And then it was actually quite funny, because as I built it, it was back in the days where WAV files were the standard audio format, and they weren't compressed, so they were huge. And I got a call about a day after I had turned it on, and my ISP was telling me that I owed him $11,000 because that site went so crazy that was showing this little audio presentation. We couldn't do videos then. And it went so crazy that I used up that particular ISP's entire bandwidth for their whole server stack. Because people were listening to this really cool audio. So we just made this simple little system to say an audio, because I was tired of having my 2 tape recorders going and actually pressing play on a cassette recorder into the telephone. So I thought, this has to be able to be done on the internet. So anyways, I ended up signing the guy up instead of him charging me $11,000, because he listened to the message and he was like, this is really cool. So from there, the system just kept evolving. As I kept using it, I found more pain points myself that I needed to get more efficient at. So I kept adding features. And then when I actually started an MLM software company, for the first couple of years, we couldn't really do anything with this. We were busy building MLM software. And then finally, we got to it, and I shared it with my guys, and the one guy politely looks at me and he says, this actually works. He's looking at my code and he's asking me if it actually worked. I go, yeah, worked. I made $1 million with it. He goes, wow. He says, imagine what people will be able to do when we do it properly. So fast forward a number of years and about $1.5 million investment, and here we are now with the HourADay system. And it's all about automating and semi-automating your MLM prospecting so that you will have better success and you will have people joining your business because you'll be treating them properly and with respect instead of talking once and
yeah. And you talk about it following automatically, semi-automatically, and manually. Why is that important, Dennis?
Well, I mean, today's world, when you start getting into things like Twitter, which is a really, really good hunting ground actually for MLM prospects. But when you get into Twitter, it's all about my robot talks to your robot. And the problem is I don't pay attention to anything that's a robot. As soon as I know that it's an automated direct message on Twitter, it's garbage. Where if someone actually takes the time to look at some of my feeds and then actually approaches me and says, hey man, I love the green in your logo, something that makes me know they're not a robot, I'll immediately engage back with them. So when you get into a semi-automated situation with things like Twitter and social media, instead of it just being a completely generic message, you do something that ties to their social media property and your engagements just go through the roof.
Great. And you have an advertising co-op. Now, I found that to be quite an effective way. How many networkers come to you and say, I don't have a warm market anymore. They're part of the NFL club. They no friends or family left. And I actually find it's easier to learn in the cold market before you go to the warm market. Make all your mistakes, people you don't know, because that doesn't hurt so much. And so many people are the opposite. They blow through their warm market, and then they think they're going to go get rich in the cold market. I think it should be done the opposite way, or at least a combination of the two.
It should be both. It should be both, because in your warm market, you have the pity closes, the people that'll do it just because you're doing it. They don't usually turn into much, but it gives you a little boost of self-confidence. I think it should be done both. I think really, if you're going to build an MLM in today's environment, you need to be doing a little bit of everything. If you're buying some traffic, which generates leads, in addition to your warm market, in addition to doing some simple social media stuff, like your really cool LinkedIn technique, which we're not telling you about today, but we're going to have a whole session on Craig's LinkedIn technique, so you can go sharpshoot some leaders.
Yeah.
It's just about doing a little bit of everything in order to get yourself off the ground and learning quickly. Remember, the more you talk to people, the faster you learn. So supplementing your warm market with cold market just means you say the things over and over and over. You find your way. You find how to fit your business around you.
Now, I know you don't want to hear this, everybody, but this is not a magic money machine. Sorry, see that? Not a magic money machine. They don't exist. And I know you've all been trying to get selling on them, and you can just set it and forget it. We've all been promised to pay all this money.
And you know what? There's some excellent systems out there that make very few people an awful lot of money. The set it and forget it systems make a ton of money for the guy selling it to you.
Exactly. So what is the difference here?
Well, any good auto prospecting system is simply going to be about amplifying your efforts. Now, this is the scary part. If everybody on the call today thinks, what did they do today? Because actually, interestingly enough, this training doesn't count as being something that furthers your business.
Don't.
If you had three-way calls to make to close people, you shouldn't be on this training. If you need the training to get to the three-way calls, then I guess you can be on the training, but you got to be careful that you don't get confused with the math. Because attending trainings is not your hour a day. Your hour a day is reaching out to people. So it'll amplify your effort. So if we all honestly looked and said, how many connections did I make today? How many new people did I talk to? How many posts did I put on my social media properties that might get someone interested? What did I do that included getting another person a little closer to joining? We would probably find that I could amplify your efforts 1,000,000 times and you'd still have had zero effort in your business today. So that's the first step to starting to make money in MLM is you have to do something every day. Every day. Not taking Saturdays and Sundays off, because then you'll break the habit every day. And then this will amplify your efforts.
I saw a really funny thing on social media about weekends. How many people are out there partying and celebrating every weekend, but they have nothing to celebrate?
That's right. So declining bank balance.
That's it. So let's talk about keeping you organized, because that's really where, for me, I'm disorganized. I mean, it's like if I don't have my app that keeps me on there, tells me what I got to do. It's so easy, especially in our business when most people that get involved in a home business have never been in their own business.
That's right.
They don't know what it's like. They don't have the self-discipline. It's so easy to get distracted because now you're working from home.
That's right.
And there's that big distraction in your home called the television.
Yeah, and wife and kids and dog and
anything. Oh, it's a nice day today.
Maybe I'll work from the backyard. Oh gosh, I got to set up my wireless to work out there. And maybe I'll just sit here and think about it for a while because it's a nice day. Yeah, distractions at home are hard.
Stuff. So this helps keep you organized with the contact manager for one, because you kind of combined a bunch of different tools into the HourADay system.
That's right. Yeah, I mean the contact manager. The key is if you have a contact manager, then you can know when your day is done. Because if that call comes up because you told it that you need to call them on today, and that was 2 weeks since you last called them, and you've said that this guy's top priority, then if you don't call him today, you haven't done the best you can do for your business. So it's going to keep you organized by having a list of people you need to call today based upon when you last talked to them and said when you want to talk to them next.
Yeah.
So it's really, really simple. It keeps notes. So if someone said, hey, I'm going to Hawaii, call me in 2 weeks. Not only do you know to call them in 2 weeks, but when you call, you can ask about the trip to Hawaii. And they're going to be like, wow, I can't believe you remember. Right? Everybody thinks I have the best memory. And I just don't. I just have a really, really good system that reminds me.
It was that. I mean, I've had it so many times where people say, wow, your timing is just perfect. I just got back from my holiday. I can't believe how good your timing was. It's like, and I'm looking at my notes saying he gets back on this day from his holiday.
Call the day after.
Call the next day. So, you get to look like the hero, and you don't need to be. And then, and when you're going to local events, I mean, this is one of your business card scanning software.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there's other scanning card softwares out there. There's what is it, Card Munch, and
that's now part of Evernote.
Evernote, and so and it's things like. But you've combined it all into the app. I mean, it's so nice. I mean, at the end of a networking event, when you're snapping a person's card, and within a few minutes.
We promised 2 hours, but most of the time they're back within literally a couple.
Yeah. And, they've got an email thanking them for, that you just connect with them at that event because you customized the email just before you arrived. And then at the end of the event, you can go have a beer or a glass of wine because those stack of cards, they got to go home, and that stack of cards ends up on the desk, and then it ends up on the edge of the desk, and then it ends up off the desk and into the circular filing cabinet because now they're too late.
It just never ceases to amaze me when I go to networking events, how many people pick up a bunch of cards and then never do anything. So I mean, I guess if the networking event is free, you could say that that's okay, but I don't think so because your time is everything. So again, we talk about an hour a day. So if you went to a networking event and collected a bunch of cards and didn't follow up, as far as I'm concerned, you didn't do your hour yet. You better go do some work.
Yeah.
Because just meeting people and not sort of setting up a follow-up, whether it be personal, whether it be offering them the free MLM software, MLM prospecting HourADay tool, whether it be the List Creator Pro, whatever tools you're using, and you can get free trials, and you're saying, hey, let's go use some of these tools, whether you join me in the business or not, especially when you meet a fellow networker at a networking event. These kind of things are what's necessary to move the relationship forward. So if you're going to networking events and you're not following up, you're just collecting cards and putting them on your desk, you might as well not go.
No, it's so true. And I mean, the idea of having both the computer version, the web version, and the app version of the HourADay system saves a lot of time as well. So the two of them talk to each other. If you're actually in a situation where you're driving, you can shake the phone and makes the calls, does all the things, makes it really easy, although technically you can't shake your phone and make the call. So you gotta shake it really low, below the table. But you talk about the things that it can do, where it gives you to prioritize the people that you want based on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the top, 10 being, okay, I don't need to talk to them.
0 being the top.
0 being the very, very top.
10 being, don't ever want to talk to them again.
And when you talk about this, because this is really what it's all about. When you're networking with people, you only have one chance to make a first impression. And it's about being respectful. When you tell somebody you're going to call them and you don't, it shows that you have a lack of respect.
Another one of those MLM guys.
Yeah.
That
Or
doesn't take it
financial
seriously.
planning guys.
Yeah, or real estate.
I mean, how often do we get prospected by them and they never follow up?
I find that quite amazing. So, you know, a financial planner, you meet them and they say, hey, I'd like to help you with your entire future. And you're like, cool. So I'm obviously not going to give my future to you the day I meet you. But then you never form a relationship with me. You never follow up with me. You never even send me an email.
Right.
And of course, or you go the opposite. You send me 19 emails, but you never phone. You never invite me out to lunch. And I'm supposed to take my net worth and put it in your hands. It doesn't make sense. And guess what? It makes just as little sense when you do that in MLM. Or when you switch companies every 2 weeks. You're always going to your friends with another one. Pick one. Stop learning the first year of MLM experience over and over and over. You have to stay long enough to learn the second year and the third year and the fourth year.
Well, you do.
$1 million earner.
And that generates respect. And the other thing too, and this is one that always bothers me, is, you know what? Respect your own industry. Respect what you're in. I am tired of somebody coming up with a creative way of pretending they're not involved in multi-level marketing. You know, I am a second income specialist. I'm
Career transition engineer.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
You know, people come up with these cockamamie, and I'm gonna use that word on the internet, cockamamie descriptions for network marketing and multi-level marketing. They only do it because they're embarrassed.
That's right.
They don't have enough belief in the industry. When people ask me, what do? I'm in multi-level marketing. Have you ever heard of it?
That's right.
And you know how many people don't even know what MLM is when you say it? They don't. What's MLM?
Like that Amway thing. Oh.
You know, you've heard of companies like Amway or Mary Kay or anything that throw up some big names. Yeah. Oh, we're not supposed to talk about names of our companies. So.
Oh, we didn't talk about our company names.
No, we didn't. Now, and here it says on the back here, it takes 12 to 15 touches. It used to be a lot less. Now with the internet, 12 to 15 touches to get a prospect to the purchasing stage.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it means that you're going to have to give them a little bit of information to get them out to a presentation. You're going to need to get them to the presentation. You're going to need to follow up. You're possibly going to have 6 or 7 touches just to get them to the presentation. Then you're going to have another 6 or 7 after the presentation, working them through getting their belief up to making a decision of involvement with you. So those touches could be some phone calls. Those touches could be some automated emails. Those touches could be some automated emails. Maybe a little direct message on Twitter, maybe a posting to their Facebook, maybe liking a few things on their Facebook page, right? So it's all about just constantly moving the relationship forward. Once you have the relationship forward, especially if you don't start it with a lie like you're a career engineer, right? Just imagine that. So you go meet someone and the first thing you say is, oh yeah, I'm a lifestyle engineer. And then they find out that you're a network marketer, which means now you're a liar. Why would they join you?
Yeah, but we always know that network marketers are liars.
Right. Well, this is true. They do tend to exaggerate. And why? You don't need to. The industry's good enough.
It is.
Good enough. So yeah, 12 to 15 touches is what it'll take. And what HourADay does is just helps you control those touches, helps you know where you're at, helps you do a bunch of them automatically. And a lot of that is in the follow-up.
In the follow-up, right. And I mean,
Follow-up.
you can, yeah, because they can't see that down
They
here.
can't see that I'm pointing at your computer over here.
Yeah,
Really? They
exactly.
can't?
No.
Okay.
So, I mean, with follow-up, the harder it is to do, the more it's respected, the faster you're going to get to an enrollment. And so manual follow-up has the most respect. That means you actually pick up this thing that weighs a million pounds or so, and you pick up the phone and you make a call. And that's heavy.
Not even sure.
And you know what? I pick up the phone every day and talk to people. I get rejected every day by people too. You know, I get people say no.
People say no to you.
People say no to me.
You're the VP of the company. They can't say no to you.
They say no to me. They say no.
I quit.
My family even thinks some of my family didn't get involved in my company. Can you believe that?
I'm out.
With the amount of money that I made in the industry over the past 20 years, you'd think that everybody that I knew
But jump
would
right
just
in.
jump in.
Yeah, no, they don't.
No, they don't. You know,
They'll still argue with you. I love it. I was on the SkyTrain today with the guy after a meeting I was at, and he was arguing with me that nobody in MLM makes money. And I'm like, all right.
Put that coffee down.
I mean, he's arguing. I'm going, going, no, I mean, I did pretty good. I made $22,800. He said, see, that's not very much money. So then I said a week for 18 months. Yeah, no, people don't make that kind of money.
You're
So
right. You don't.
Liar, right?
Yeah.
You don't make
You're
that
right.
kind
You
of
know,
money.
I mean,
And it took 10 years to get there, right?
Yeah.
This isn't get rich quick. This is get rich as quickly
That's pretty
as
quick,
you're
though.
willing. It's get rich as quickly as you're willing to unlearn your bad habits and learn the skills you don't have. Because contrary to popular belief, you do not have all the skills you need the day you join an MLM.
That's
You're
true.
gonna have to learn some stuff.
And you got to learn this. Your prospect doesn't hate you.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like they do, though.
It does, you know. No stings. Like they said, no, they're not saying no to you. Well, some people, they're actually.
Yeah, sometimes they just don't like you.
Yeah, I mean, that does happen. But, you know, they just don't trust you. They don't respect you because you know, it's kind of like going on a date. When you meet a person for the first time, you can't immediately go, hi there, my name's Craig, your place or mine.
That's right.
Okay, you jumped a whole bunch of steps.
You got some more touches to go.
So think about a prospect that way. You got to make friends first. Heck, when I first meet people, I don't tell them the company that I'm with because it doesn't matter. I'm more concerned about what they're doing, what they're involved in. If they ask me, I'm the VP of an MLM company.
That's right. Well, and what I always recommend you do is when you do go and you start to rekindle old relationships, the worst thing in the world you can do when you rekindle an old relationship is sit down for lunch or coffee and immediately start to vomit all over them, right? The best way to handle rekindling an old relationship is have your coffee, enjoy your coffee or your lunch. And as you've paid the bill and you're ready to leave, you get up, you walk away and you go, oh man, I almost forgot. I just got involved in something recently that we're making a little extra money with. No idea if it's for you or not. Would you mind taking a look and telling me what you think of it? And then when they start asking for information, hey, I just got to feed the meter, man. I didn't even think about it until just now. So don't talk to them about it then. Just leave it hanging and set an appointment if they're interested. But don't spend the whole lunch talking to them about it or they will hate you.
They will. They will.
Go backwards more.
Go backwards.
We had a couple more points there. So we talked about the trust. And then you got to remember, and this is something that I had a guy at a networking event tell me. Actually, it was FU Money. Dan Long. Anyways, a guy here in Vancouver that does a bunch of public speaking. And he says, he hands out books instead of business cards. So he hands out his book. And he says, the first time you call me, I'm definitely not answering. I'm not listening to your voicemail. When you call me 3 or 4 times, I'm still going to ignore you because I'm testing you to see how much you want. And it's your job to sell to me, not my job to sell to you. So if you're trying to get my attention, you need to try to get my attention. So remember, this is very, very important. When you're in MLM, you're trying to get somebody who's not interested's attention. So you can't phone and leave a message and expect them to call back and get in all little pissy mode because they didn't. Oh, we're not on TV. We're fine. You can't get into that and suddenly go, oh, well, they didn't call me back. Well, but that's not their job. That's your job. Your job is to call them back and to find a way of having them become interested enough to take a look and tell you yes or no.
Yeah.
It's not their job to call you back. If they do, great. That means you finally generated enough value for them to call you back. So I just want to make that point that it's up to you to do this. To get mad because people don't call you back. People don't call back in any sales position. Heck, people don't call back in any kind of a job or any kind of
just because somebody calls me does not mean I am obligated to phone them back.
That is correct.
That is correct.
That
People
is
don't realize
them to connect with me.
Yeah, because somebody sends me a text message, I am not obliged to text them back.
Correct.
Because if somebody leaves me a voicemail, I'll be honest, I don't listen to
I don't even listen to voicemails anymore. If it's important, they'll text.
Well, really, I mean, if I think I gotta phone you, I saw that you called, and if we have a relationship, I'll call you back. Why do I want to listen for a minute to you rambling on about what you're going to tell me over the phone anyway?
Yeah, when I call you back.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And so your prospects don't hate you. You just haven't created enough value for them to engage with you yet. Or maybe their kid got sick, or maybe they're in the hospital. That's like the best excuse ever when you do a text marketing.
Oh, I cannot believe how many
Everyone's
people,
in the hospital.
Either they're in the hospital, their mother's in the hospital, their child is in the hospital. Everybody seems to be in the hospital when you're fine. You know what? Sorry I didn't get back to you. I was in the
I
hospital.
was in the hospital.
And man, 1 week I had like 30 people all in the hospital. I can't believe they didn't run into each other.
Yeah, you'd think, I mean, that would have been a good networking opportunity right there.
So true. All right, so let's talk about the advertising co-op, because you know it is a great way to backfill in some prospects. And also, I like new distributors to be part of an ad co-op. Helps make them bulletproof. I like to call it, put on their little bulletproof jacket.
Armor.
It is their armor.
So is your list your armor?
You know, and what do we mean by that? Maybe you could explain to our listeners what you mean by an advertising list or a cold prospecting list is your armor. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's someone you don't know. So if it goes horribly wrong, you're never going to talk to them again. You're not going to trip across them in the street. They're just gone. So you don't have to worry about screwing up, right? You're not going to have your friend telling your brother that you're an idiot because you didn't do things right. Right. So it's just about. You're
not going to see them at Christmas.
Yeah.
You're not going to see them at Easter.
You can screw up in the cold market. All it costs you is a couple of dollars to go get some more leads. And what I like about the cold market is it can get you the repetition you need to get good at what you're saying. So the more leads you have from a co-op, the more you're making calls with your upline, the more you're doing the work, the faster you're learning. Right. One of the reasons some people take forever to make any money at all in MLM is they just don't do enough of it.
Yeah.
They don't get good at the right way to say things. They don't get good at inviting. They don't get good at presenting. They're just not good at all of the components. Right. The more you can do it and be in front of people and suck up that courage to pick up the phone and suck up that courage to try a three-way call, the more you get comfortable with it and the better you're going to get at the business quickly. So I love ad co-ops. An ad co-op is simply you give us money. We amalgamate your money with everybody else's money. And the way advertising works, of course, is advertising is not linear. So we don't go and make a $50 advertisement that generates 1 or 2 leads, and then we put a $500 ad and it'll generate 10 or 20 leads. It's actually geometric. The bigger the ad and the better the publication you're in, you actually start to generate that traffic for less cost per hit. So when we amalgamate everybody's money and we go to the places we already know and we do the ads that we already know work, we're taking money that you might have spent on your own advertising, and we're probably going to amplify it 2 or 3 times as far as the amount of stuff. Now, keep in mind, advertising is a game where you're always balancing how many leads pop out the back end with how many qualified leads pop out the back end. So members love systems that the leads appear to be 25 cents each.
Yeah.
Because then they get 1,000 leads. The problem is you get 1,000 leads, you got to make 1,000 follow-ups to get the 2 people that would have joined. You're better to have $25 and $50 leads that you reach out and you call a couple of people. So if you really want to do an advertising co-op, if it was me and I was starting from scratch and I had some money to go and try and explode my business, I'd buy a whole bunch of ad co-op shares in month 1. I'd buy a whole bunch of ad co-op shares in month 2. And then I'd go down to way less ad co-op shares from month 3 forward. Because then I'm going to get a whole bunch of leads, which take time to get through. I'm going to get a whole bunch more leads, which takes time to get through. And then as I'm getting busy, because now I've started to enroll people, now I've started to have some of those people duplicate, I'm getting busier and busier. I would back off on my ad co-op. So I would spike it with $400 or $600 worth of advertising and go, bam, if I have money and not time.
Right.
Right. There's always 2 ways. There's the people who have lots of time and no money, and they're going to probably go blow their brains out on social media these days. And they're going to do all these things thinking they're getting somewhere. And unfortunately, you're not.
Well, we will help
We'll help.
future on
Ways.
LinkedIn. We do have ways. I mean, it does take, you've got a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder, but it is free. There are ways to do it for free.
It is free.
Yeah.
But it takes time.
It does take time.
Absolutely takes time. And of course, on LinkedIn and everywhere else, if you have money, you can make things take less time because then you can actually advertise for people. So.
Right. And this is where it gets into, we just talk about that Twitter and social media and LinkedIn, and there are great ways to be able to build through these. But once you're building these contacts, you need a place to be able to funnel those contacts. You need that sorting and sifting funnel like HourADay. That's what I like HourADay. And when I started using it, I mean, really, we did this 20 years ago before the internet. Our mentor, this is what really taught us. It was to follow up, and we took them through back then it was a hard voicemail message. Blind voicemail on an answering machine. It wasn't voicemail. It was an answering machine.
No, I had an actual what was that? That was no, it was actually a digital version.
Was it?
Yeah, the tape recorder was when we were playing the system. It's different.
But when you think about how far back we go, and we didn't have these systems, we couldn't do that. But we're using the same things. You have to do
my system. It was my recipe box with Monday to Sunday separators, and then 1 to 31 separators. And then when I got too many contacts, it was 2 recipe boxes.
Yeah.
And then it was 3 recipe boxes, and pretty soon I needed a trailer hooked to my belt.
But now you can do it all from here. And it's great to have the tools, but the high tech, still you need the high touch. You got to reach out and talk to people, or it doesn't work. But the follow-up system, I would rather put 1,000 people in or 100 people into the front of it and have 1 or 2 pop out that are interested than have to pick up the phone and call 100 people. That's what we did back then.
That's right. Yeah, we called them all. We bought lists of people to just randomly call to see if they might be interested.
And what a waste of time and money that was.
Wow.
It worked.
Business out of it, but it was a heck of a lot more work.
But we were doing it full time. That was no hour a day.
That was not an hour a day. That was just relentless.
Right. So hopefully that just kind of gives you just a short little bit. I can actually.
Yeah, I saved the wrong one. I had a better one.
That was good. That was still good. I learned a lot.
So let's talk about price, because everyone always thinks right away that, oh, it must be expensive then. HourADay system's $29.99 a month. An ad co-op share is $25 a month. You can buy as many as you want. There are some discounted packages if you buy the license and some ad co-op shares. And it's money back guaranteed. Ad co-op shares are not money back guaranteed. So make sure you like the system before you buy ad co-op shares, because we can't get that back. And you do have a 30-day free trial on the system. So you can actually go play with it in your warm market, see how it works. We will work with you to customize it for your particular MLM. So in other words, we will work with you on providing the materials and getting little videos made to create an entire vertical to work for your specific MLM, whatever you're involved in. So if you're in skincare, if you're in vitamins, if you're in household goods, cleaning materials, whatever, we'll actually give you the content and give you the PowerPoint and let you do a voiceover specific to your company. Plug it in, and then you can actually share the system with your downline, and they'll all get your exact version specific to your MLM. So this isn't about teaching you our stuff. This is about taking some proven tracks to run on and working with you as a leader of your team to have a system that you can put in place that specifically fits you, like we did for your members.
Yeah, and you know what, it just makes sense. And then they pick the template. And then even as your leaders are growing, different leaders can have different templates in your own company based on who you're working with. And you can A/B test what's going to work better.
Your leaders' egos.
Yes, you can. You know, or your own ego if you want.
Or your own, yes.
And that's what it's all about. So, you know what, we're coming on right around 45 minutes. And I just thought this would give people a good chance to, we wanted to test the facilities here, make sure it works. So we can have, if you're in the greater Vancouver area, come and join us live at the meetup. Yeah. You can be here, ask questions. If you want to participate and be part of our panel, love to have you. That's live or online. So you can certainly participate as a hangout.
We'll always have a certain number of free tickets for the people that come to us first and say, yes, I want to come. So you can actually come for free instead of the $25, as long as you're one of the first 10 people to come to us and say, I want to come for free to the live event.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is we're going to have a topic every week. So we're actually going to do proper, it's actually based upon, the beginning of this is going to be based upon an entire 2-day MLM University style training that my company sells to our clients. And we're going to pull all the components out of it. We're going to start going through them week after week after week, all of the components. So every component will be useful for anybody, no matter when they've joined the business. But then you can actually go back, because we will eventually start to post all the previous lessons online, usually about a month delayed. So you'll actually be able to pick up literally every step-by-step how to do it. With our experience, you know, today we talked about HourADay, but you also got a whole bunch of little pieces of information that will help you with the business. So we hope to keep that kind of a structure going where we'll take you through it. So next week is your all-important contact list. Before you've grown, I promise it's worth your while to come out and listen to our take on the contact list. Because just because you make a contact list doesn't mean you're going to use it, but you still need to make it. And we're going to share why. We're going to share its power, even if you don't use it. So imagine that. You can make a contact list, not use it, and I will still check off and say that you're well on your way to becoming $1 million earner.
Because I've never seen a 6 or 7 figure income. Correct. So
and we'll go into all those details, as well as a really cool technique to get your list, rank your list, order your list, and help make that easy, which then you can then dump your contacts into HourADay. So next week's going to be an hour on list and why it's cool and how to build it and easy ways to do it. And
so share the meetup. We'll create a new webinar registration page.
Yeah.
That'll get created the next 24 to 48 hours, probably the next day.
Yeah.
Have that set up, probably tonight.
Yeah.
And it'll be on the meetup, so you'll be able to find it there. We'll push it out through our social media. Push it out to your members. This is going to help you build your team.
Right.
Remember, this is all about building your MLM business, helping you become successful. It's a way for us to be able to get back. It's been very good to us, this industry, over the past couple of decades.
Yeah.
And some of the things that we've learned can really shortcut your time to get success.
I could have done it in 3 years if I would have listened more.
Well,
But I like to overcomplicate things.
that's right. Cool, everybody. Thanks all
Thanks very
for
much.
coming on today. My name is Craig Peloquin, and
I'm
my friend
Dennis Wilson.
Dennis Wilson.
See you next
Have yourselves a great evening. Bye-bye.